Hello and welcome back to Rank My Maths. My name's Lorraine and today I'll be going through two problem solving questions based on area and perimeter, and I'll be taking those from the UK Maths Challenge. Now, if you haven't heard of the UK Maths Challenge, it's a national competition where schools will put forward students to do a test in school, and if they do really well, they'll get either a silver, a bronze or gold certificate. And of the people who get gold, they go through to another round and another round to see who are the best mathematicians in the country. So there are different categories. The Junior Maths Challenge is done by students as old as year 8. And it used to be just schools submitting students from year 7 and 8. But recently, a lot of schools have been submitting students from year 5 and 6. So if you are preparing for your SATs or for the 11 plus exam, then having a look at some of the UK Junior Maths Challenge questions is a quite good way to prepare. So I'm going to go into two questions, one from the 2021 paper, one from the 2023 paper. If you like how I'm describing these problems, then please hit like and subscribe while you're watching the video. Okay, here we go. So I get these from their website. It's completely free, all their past papers. Pause the video and have a read. Okay, so in this video, they talk about four congruent rectangles. So you may not have learned that word before, but congruent, let me get the pen. Congruent means that they are the exact same rectangle. Okay, so they've got the same size, same shape, but they may be in a different orientation, like they might be sideways or things like that, maybe rotated. So they're telling us that these four rectangles are identical, and they're telling us that the perimeter of each rectangle is 20 centimeters. And they're telling us that the square formed in the middle, we can see in the diagram there, has an area of 44 centimeters. And our mission is to find the area of each rectangle. Now, the most natural thing is to think about, well, what is the length of this square? Now, if they had told us that that square had an area of, say, 81 centimeters squared, or say 49 centimeters squared, why do you think that would be a lot easier to solve? Okay, have a think. That's because the two numbers I've shown you are perfect squares. So if I square root 49, I'll get the length of that side is 7. Or if I square root 81, I'll get the length of that side is 89. But this question challenges us a bit because we are unable, without a calculator, to find the square root of 49. So we need to quickly scrap that idea. And I'm not going to focus on this rectangle for this square for a little bit. Okay, so I am going to now focus on the rectangles around, because they've told me something. They've told me that the perimeter is 20. And one thing not to do is don't think about what those numbers could be. Like you might sit there and be thinking, is it 5 and 5? And that makes 10. Oh, well, that would be 5 and 5. That was a bad example. But if you rack your brains thinking about that, that is also going to take up your time in a timed test. The best thing to do when you're presented with a problem with unknowns is to start producing some algebra, some letters to represent unknowns. Now, you can actually get away with not using algebra. I'll show you in a minute. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to call this length x. Okay, so that's the length of the rectangle. I'm just going to show you the rectangle over here. So I'm going to define that as x, and then I'm going to define the width of it as y. So that's x, and you know what, I'm going to color code it because, like I said, I can actually get away with not using algebra. You can just say there's a red side and a green side, and the green side is our y. Okay, so now if you consider the rectangle on its own, I actually have two y's, its perimeter, is made up of two y's and two x's. So the perimeter of the rectangle is 2x plus 2y. And in the question, they tell me that that adds up to 20 centimetres, okay? Now, if I go all the way around this square, I've actually got 1, 2, 3, 4 x's and 4 y's. You see that? So the whole perimeter of this, and to be honest, I don't even need the whole perimeter because I'm thinking about area, and the area of that square, the larger square, is just length times width. So if I just think about just this distance here, I can see it's made up of 1x and 1y, okay? Or if you're not using algebra, you can say one of the red sides and one of the green sides. So if I divided this by 2, and I'm allowed to do that, and if you need any help with algebra, just comment below and I'll send you a video. I'm allowed to half this and get the fact that 1x and 1y must equal, therefore, 10. So what I've done now is I've actually found the length of one side of this square. And if I find the area of the square by doing length times width, I get the total area of the larger square. I'm going to make it blue now. Of the larger square, I'll take the blue off, is 100 centimetres squared. And now that 100 centimetres squared, if I take away that 44 in the middle now, so I'm going to subtract 44, I'm actually not doing, I'm going to do that in my head. I'm going to make that, no, that's 56. So I haven't actually used column subtraction there. What's left is 56. So 56 are the 4 congruent rectangles on the outside. So now what I'm going to do is take that 56 and divide it by 4, and that's going to give me the area of just one of those rectangles, which is option A, 14 centimetres squared. So pause this, rewind it, slow it down, take it in. But the main thing I want you to take away from this one is the fact that I had to create some unknowns. And if I rub out all my squiggles, if I'm able to, oh no, that doesn't work. If I'm able to see the picture again, I actually thought about the larger square and I subtracted that smaller square in. Okay, all right, let's have a look at another one. So that was in 2021. And then this year, so the one in my son's year, it looked like this. Again, pause the video and have a look. It says, in the diagram, all distances shown are in centimetres. The perimeter of the shape is 60 centimetres. What is the area of the shape? Right, so our instincts would definitely start getting you to work this out, which will be 18, because that's the entire distance across, subtract 6, because that's up to here. So that little bit would give me that. So that's the first thing that our instincts will tell us to do. 18 subtract 6 is 12. But then if I need to find the area of this shape, I need to be chopping it up into 2 rectangles. So I can either divide it here or I can divide it here. But either way, if you have paused it and tried it yourself, either way, we get to a little bit of a sticking ground when we're going to need this little bit. Okay, we're going to need that distance here. So I'm going to see, how can I find that distance? Now, they have told me that the perimeter is 60. So let's have a look at the perimeter. Now, the perimeter would be 18 plus 18. That's the horizontal distances, which is 36 centimetres. And then it would be these 2 green sides here plus here. But I don't know what they are at the moment. But what I do know is that the total is 60. So if I do 60, take off the horizontal sides, which I know, 36. leaves me with 24. And then those green sides are equal because parallel. 24, and it's a rectangle. 24 divided by 2 gives me 12. So I know there are 12 each. So if that's already gone up 8, I know that that little distance there is 4. So now I can quickly work out my area. I'll use a different colour pen. I think we like playing with these colours here. Different colour pen here. If I go across here, this little rectangle up here is 4. That little rectangle at the top is 4 by 12, which is 48. And that larger rectangle here, this one here, is 8 by 18. So I'm going to quickly do a multiplication like this. 64, and that's 144. So that is 8 times 18 was 144. And add that together. That's 2, 4, 4 is 8, 9, 1, and it's answer A again. So I hope you enjoyed those problems. Please hit like and subscribe. Check out our website for more problems. See you later.